Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, it's another lunchtime edition of the Roundtable. How's everybody doing? I'm coming to you live from Newark, New Jersey Performing Arts Center here at Musical Theater Summer Camp. Taking our break. That's why this mysterious blue door is behind me, and random music stands and accoutrement galore. We are here to talk about. I have a confession. As a good little gay, I've never been out to Fire Island ever, and I have also never seen Buyer and Cellar. Don't judge me, Jack, backstage right now. I have never, but if there's a time to go, if there's a time to see it, everybody needs to make sure that they're there and we're all up and at them to see. I can't wait to talk all about it. It's this August 4th and August 5th at Cherry Grove, out there on the island. Jack, welcome to the show.
Hi, Robert. It's so nice to be here. Thank you.
So can you tell us how this came about? How did this show in particular come about, and how did it become this benefit project for this weekend?
Yeah, so I saw the production at the Barrow Street Theater in 2013, and I fell pretty fast in love with it. And I remember thinking, then, like, obviously what a terrific vehicle for Michael Urie, and then for also any other homosexual who has the ability to memorize things. So it sort of lived in my head for a while. And last summer, I produced my solo cabaret show out at the Cherry Grove Arts Project. And that was a Friday night, and the venue seats about 140 people, and I sold out, and I brought my band out, and I did my cabaret, and I've since done my cabaret at the Ice Palace out here. And when they approached me and said, like, what ideas do you have for this summer, this was the first thing that I pitched, because while I love doing my own material, I knew that the people of Cherry Grove and Fire Island it would be a rich resource for relatability, and all the jokes would be, totally received, and that there would probably be some Barbra folks in the audience. So I pitched that, and I got Actors Equity to approve Theater Authority clearance for 2 performances for a 501c3 organization. And then I got off to the races.
Jack, I have so much I have to say to you now. Now all of that. Firstly, Michael Urie was just here, and we talked about the show. We talked about the show a little bit. I remember seeing posters for the show, and I remember the article, and I remember the news piece and everything about the Barbra Streisand Malibu home, the mall underground. What is it like? So to see it done in this way, and then for you to get up there and tell your story, I've never been to Fire Island. So what is an audience like in Fire Island? What is it like to perform out there? And why is it such the hot spot all summer long for the queer community everywhere?
Okay, well, first off, what are you doing on Friday? Can you get on a ferry?
I may have to be, Jack, I get out of here at 4 o'clock. I can get...
Okay, Saturday too. We'll talk about boat options. What is an audience like out here? Well, for a long time, drag, and we love drag, and drag queens are under attack, and they need all our support, but sometimes they do bully us for tips and do mediocre performances. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. I'm out on the island. Drag has been the premier talent for as long as most people can remember. So Daniel Nardicchio has been bringing, his Icon series. He's done, Liza Minnelli, Cheetah Rivera, Alan Cumming, Justin Vivian Bond, Carol Channing. So in addition to drag, there's been that. And then each Labor Day for the past 20 years, the Fire Island Pines Arts Project, or FITPAP, does a Labor Day musical. And last year it was the Pajama Game, and then it was Jerry's Girls the year before that. This year it's You're in Town, and I will be playing Bobby Strong in that production. So there's very few theatrical or concert-like entertainment options with all the amazing. I said mediocre. I'm teasing. These queens are amazing. They work their ass off. I always joke that they must like performing so much more than I do, because I'm like, oh my God, here they come. Painted, wigs, boots, corsets. I'm like, it is so sweaty. It is so hot. They're all working so hard all the time and cranking out these amazing performances. But it's the hot spot because it always has been, right? Because I don't know if you saw, but 2 years ago, the New York Historical Society and the New York Times picked up this piece called Safe Haven. And it was an exhibit at the Historical Society chronicling these black and white photos from the 30s up until the 80s and 90s, which the Cherry Grove Archives Project tediously and meticulously puts together. But it's just always been, right? Like we gays, we queer people have needed niche pockets where we could be our authentic selves. And this, I was in Provincetown yesterday. Provincetown, Fire Island, you know, these pockets on the East Coast. I think Rehoboth Beach is pretty gay, but I've never been there. These pockets serve as such a safe, fun way to go out and really like let the freak flag fly, let the authenticity pour out. And so the audiences are excited. They crave entertainment out here, and they are supportive, and they make that trek from New York City, no matter what borough they live in, and they come out here, be it for a weekend or for a long week. And they, you know, the beach is fun, but after a few days, you want something else. So they're really excited for entertainment out here, and it's really supportive.
Well, I think if you have nothing to do this weekend, I know what you need to do is go over to redeyetickets.com and grab tickets to see this show, because I think you've sold it. I've been sitting here, and not to be a selfish host, Jack, of this event, but I was literally like, why have I not been booked to play Fire? Come on. Why am I not booked?
I don't know. It's because you're being so gracious at a musical theater camp in New Jersey, giving your talents away to the children.
You know, thank you, Jack. You're my new publicist. I appreciate you. So when you sing and you do musical theater, obviously you're doing your own town. Obviously last year you did your own show and you perform. And if you go look up Jack and find him on the social medias and all of your body of work, what does it mean for you? How did you memorize this? How do you find your own Jack voice amongst this piece that has been done and has become kind of a signature one-man show, one-person show kind of piece that's been put out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what I like so much about it is the similarity to my solo cabaret work, which, you know, I've been doing shows since 2015 here in London, in Provincetown, and that's my passion. That's what my passion for design. It's what I focus on primarily, and this piece is so. I mean, there's so many direct addresses. There's so much chit chat and intimate conversations with the audience. So it feels similar to what I've done. How did I memorize it? The question is, am I memorized? Will I have to call line in rehearsal today? Most likely. I recorded myself read the script, and I listened to it on my drives back and forth from Long Island to Brooklyn constantly on different speed settings. And then I'd try writing it down. I'd try just like before I go to bed, I'd just try writing as much as I could. And then I'd check it the next morning to see how word perfect I was. And then I'd say the biggest helpful piece was just having showbiz pals read lines with me. And some of them are like, you paraphrased. And some of them are like, you actually said, but, and it's actually, or. And I'm like, oh, can you stop? Because I think I did 44 pages without, you know. So it's a beast, but finding my own voice in it is really easy because, you know, the description of Alex Moore is, you know, a north of 30s underemployed actor. He's in a relationship. He has a big heart when his boyfriend Barry sort of has this cynical jealousy outburst of behavior. You know, Alex has this beautiful monologue about not wanting to see other people's successes as a personal attack against him. So he has a big heart. He's funny. He's the type of person who would be simultaneously like fun to have at a cocktail party, but also like maybe like, can you stop talking so much? So I sort of, after a few reads, I was like, oh, I mean, there's not a lot of stretching here. It's a character I can really see myself in. Yeah.
I am so fascinated. I think that, you know, my students, when we just had a tech rehearsal, and I said to them, you know, you have to be easy on yourself. 99%, more than 99% of the world would never have the guts to get up on a stage and do what you do. And to do that as a one-person show and memorize 44 pages of dialogue and to tell us a story in front of an audience that knows it and loves it and adores her and adores the situation takes a certain type of person, Jack. How do you channel? Is it a blessing? It's a curse? How do you channel that
total combination? I say it's an affliction, right? Like it's like I mostly say that about cabaret. You know, like I mentioned, I just came from Provincetown, where you're just like handing out postcards, and then when it's showtime, you're like happy as a clam. But you have rehearsed with musicians, paid them, bought props, talked about lighting cues and sound cues. You've memorized these songs in this patter, but you also want it to feel loose and off the cuff, and so you're in it and you're loving it. But then when you sort of like, it's either like a day before the show or a day after the show, you zoom out and you're like, oh my God, I made $400. Like, so, you know, like it's such an affliction. But I can't think of anything else that I really want to do with my time. And I know that, I know there will be dozens of laughs in the audience, and that'll feel great for them. That'll feel great for me. I think we'll all exit the arts project of Cherry Grove in a better mood. And this isn't like so much patting yourself on the back, but what else are we doing? I mean, come on, like if you have that affliction, if you have that passion for performing or design, then you ought to put it to use and get those lines learned and sing those songs, because I just don't know what else we're doing with our time otherwise. Someone send me to dental school, because I'm like what, like I gotta, you know, I'm either doubling down on performing arts or like, you know, dental hygienist or something.
Well, Robbie Roselle calls cabaret the world's most expensive hobby. It is definitely, but no one's making $1 million off of doing these shows. You do them out of love.
That's right.
You're lucky you make anything. So, Jack, here's what I know. This weekend, everyone that's going over to Fire Island, all of my gays and gay allies and gay adjacent people, please come. You know what to do this weekend. Go to redeyetickets.com. We're gonna follow Jack so that we can see where he's going to be around the world when his next cabaret shows are going to be, and we're going to support, share, and show love to Buyer and Cellar. And whenever you have a show, I'm looking up a ferry after this, but I want to see yours. I want to see you sing. I want to see
you sing. I love your intro. You're like watering flowers 1 second, and then you're in camouflage. You're like I can be fake and I can be masked at the same time. I love you, Robert. Thanks for your time. And thanks for the thoughtful questions.
Oh, please. I'm excited to see the road ahead, and congratulations, and thank you for using your voice. And oh, there it is. There it is. See, he has receipts. He knows what he's talking about. Yes. Jack, if you were to build a mall in your basement, what is the one thing that you would have to have there?
Oh my God, a taxidermied peacock.
Is there anything else to say? I mean, that.
I was thinking of like a beverage on tap, like cold brew on tap, maybe.
That's where I was going, but you took it to the right place.
I just really want one.
I think we can make that happen. Listen, if you're home about to have an estate sale, if your great aunt just died, or if in your garage there's a taxidermy peacock, just find us and we'll get it to you, Jack.
Thank you.
We make dreams come true here. Jack, you're the best. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, break legs.
Thank you
so much more. Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.